Hey champ, what are you doing back there?
I asked Lucas. Olivia smiled at me as I shifted in my seat. I wanted to check on what our son was keeping himself busy with. It was late, and the trip we had to take was so long. We had left Sacramento at about 6 p.m. and had 6 or so hours of driving before we got to Cleveland, all along the US 50. We went to my sister's wedding, and Olivia had proposed for us to make it a wholesome family trip instead of just taking the plane. I was more than happy to do that, but Lucas wasn't. He grumbled through the ride to Sacramento, but now he was completely calm and focused on the night sky he had been observing through the sunroof.
Lucas, what's so interesting up there? Did you catch a saucer?
He smiled. No, I'm just watching the stars,
Ah, that's nice.
I said, happy that he found something to take his mind off the drive. Olivia and I were both much too tired to hold a meaningful conversation, so we spoke very little, and the agreement was that we would switch places every once in a while to break the monotony. It was Lucas who broke the silence more often than not. Dad, he would always begin, do you know what this constellation is called? And he would point his finger at some unknowable patch of night sky, expecting me, groggy as I was, to decipher exactly what he meant. For most of the time, my answer was,
I don't know.
though I did try to share what little I knew of constellations as often as I could. I had never seen Lucas as enthralled with anything as he was with stars on that night, because even when we'd stop for Olivia and I to switch places, he'd come out, even if only for a minute, to observe the starry skies, without the roof of the car obstructing his view. It's wonderful, isn't it? Said Olivia, talking about our son's infatuation rather than the stars. Do you think we can get a telescope, Mom? Olivia looked at me, laughed, and shrugged her shoulders. We moved on soon afterwards. It was my turn to take a nap when I heard my wife speaking in a normal rather than hushed tone. I couldn't quite make out what she was saying as I fumbled with my phone to check what time it was. 2:33.
What's wrong?
Look how dark it got, she said. I thought my eyes hadn't gotten used to the darkness yet when I realized that it wasn't getting any brighter. The road, the desert, the surrounding area, all practically pitch black, except for the interior of our car and its headlights. Instinctively, I looked up, only to see a dark void without so much as a flicker of a star.
How long's it been like this?
Olivia answered with a shiver in her voice. For a few minutes now, but it's not like a cloud drifted over us or anything like that. It was instantaneous. One moment, it's all normal, and the next, complete darkness. I scratched my chin. And look, she continued, lifting her phone for me to see. No signal.
This area is supposed to have coverage,
I said. Exactly. We drove in silence for a few minutes, when finally, Lucas said something. Beautiful, so pretty. They're perfect, aren't they, Dad? I looked up as if on cue. No stars.
Son, is everything all right?
Just look at the sky, Dad. You too, Mom. Please keep looking at the sky. I turned to check if he was okay, but couldn't see anything due to how dark it was.
Olivia, can you turn on the interior lights?
Just as I finished the sentence, our car stopped in its tracks in the middle of the road.
Olivia?
I didn't do anything, she said, with an audible panic in her voice. Let's go out, said Lucas. We have to take a better look. Come on, Dad, let's go, he said, opening the door and stepping out of the car. "Honey, come back, please," Olivia pleaded.
I'm going outside.
I said to her. "No, something's not right," she said as I was getting out of the car. That's when Lucas started laughing maniacally. There's nothing quite as blood-curdling as hearing an 11-year-old cackling like a psycho for no apparent reason. I'm not going to pretend I wasn't terrified. "This is beautiful," he yelled at the top of his voice.
Olivia, keep the car running. I'm coming back right away.
At the same time, I kept moving further away from the light, following my son's laughter. By the time I finally touched something, the lights of the car had already turned into tiny specks, like stars in the sky, and I had taken about 100 steps off the road. The laughter was really close, and I was touching something, except it wasn't Lucas. It was cold, sticky and fleshy, like sausages or tubes of some sort, hanging from the sky. And I had to push through several of them before I finally managed to grab my son's jacket. "Dad, you're here. Look up. Look up at them." I didn't. Instead, I pulled him out of there and started running back toward the car. As I did, something shuffled just above us. "Dad, stop. I need to go back. Let me go back." We had almost reached the car when I felt something tug at Lucas from behind. Then he started laughing again, and I heard 2 loud popping sounds. I opened the car door, pushed my son inside, and climbed in myself. Olivia locked the doors immediately, crying out of worry. Nothing happened for a few fleeting moments, but then something started investigating the roof of our car. A series of chilling ticks and tacks, followed by clicking, kept us on our toes for about 5 minutes, though it felt like hours. And then, just as abruptly as they had started, the sounds all stopped. All the while, I firmly kept holding Lucas down.
Oh my God, look,
I said to Olivia. The previously clear glass of the sunroof was now covered in semi-transparent sludge and what looked like tiny bone fragments. Through the sludge, I saw an improbably vast and oddly inconsistent wing lift and flap away as stars returned to the night sky. Whatever it had been attached to was already too high up in the atmosphere for me to take note of. As the thing left, my phone started ringing like crazy, and Olivia was yelling something at me. I wasn't listening to what she was saying, because as the suffocating darkness lifted, I could finally take a good look at Lucas. He was sitting next to me, his head turned slightly toward the sky, as if he was looking at the stars, except he couldn't, because where his eyes used to be, now sat 2 gaping holes, with fresh blood and scattered sclera running down his cheeks. He was smiling. Hey guys and ladies, thanks for watching. If you want me to tell your story, or read a creepypasta, email me at the address in the description. Be good to animals, even people. See ya.
Snämar, Bergsbus, Rish.
My little girl is sleeping. Maybe my reading is boring her. Are you sleeping? What happened? And the agreement was that